What's going on? What's going on Facebook Live? This is Coach G coming to you live from beautiful, beautiful Mission Valley, San Diego. Out here poolside, hanging out with my good buddy James Nelson, the Chain Breaker speaker. Say hello, James.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? James Nelson, the Chainbreaker speaker. Hope you guys are having an amazing day. We got a great video live for you guys today. And tell them what it's about, Coach G.
Oh yeah, today guys, we're talking about failing. Failing is so important. And what we're going to talk about today, James is going to let you guys know, and then I'm going to chime in myself too. Why is it so important to fail, that you have to fail in order to succeed? I truly believe that failure is the key to success. If you don't believe that, you're failing. All right, here we go. James, why is it so important to fail in your opinion? And give these guys the good nuggets that they're going to go away with something that they're going to be able to take to the next person.
Well, so first off, when I first started speaking, a little story about myself. I thought I was really good. I thought I was doing great, and then I went to speak at an event, and I noticed, it was something small, something just 5 minutes, a quick little 5 minute speech. Working on myself, honing my skill, honing my craft, and I remember going through it and then hearing a timer go off, like one of those alarms that you set to wake up on your phone or something like that. It went off one time, ring, 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 ring. I'm like, man, that's kind of annoying. I wonder whose phone's going off in the middle of my speech. But then I heard it go off a second time, a third time, a fourth time, and I was like, man, this person is really annoying to be having their phone going off while I'm talking. I'm speaking right now. And then it went off for a fifth time, and then I eventually ended up finishing my talk, finishing my speech, and then to my horror, to my shock, I realized that I was 12 minutes over for a 5 minute speech. Can you imagine that? Being 12 minutes over in a 5 minute speech. I was embarrassed. I was frustrated. I was worried what people thought about me. I was like, man, that speech was a fail. That talk was a fail. I went almost double my time limit, and then I thought to myself that, oh, I'm not good enough anymore. I don't deserve to be on stages. I don't deserve to be speaking anymore, because I failed. I failed. I put myself out there, and I failed. I was embarrassed. But what I took from that is, okay, how can I be a better speaker from this failure? How can I learn from that one instance of me going over time, that one instance of me not being mindful of how long I was going, that one instance of me not practicing enough, because I went over time, because I did not practice enough, I did not go over how long my speech would be. I said that, the next time I speak, it's going to be better. And I actually went back to that place. I went back to the event coordinator, and I asked him if I could speak again. He fortunately said yes. And that second time, people remembered me because of how long I went over. People remembered me, oh God, this guy's going to go over again. But I worked on my speech. I took what I learned from that failure in the first speech, I applied it to the second speech, and the results I got were so much better. The feedback I got was so much better. And I was able to impact a better message to my audience, and they were able to get better takeaways now because of that first speech and bringing that to the second speech. So failure is crucial, and you can either do one of two things with failure. You can either sit back and say, well, I failed, so I'm never going to do this again, like what was my initial reaction, or you can say, you know what, how can I make myself better after this failure? And that's what I did, and the result spoke for itself on my second speech.
James and I are actually down here at my house, poolside masterminding, and pretty much what we talked about mostly was failing. Why him and I we're successful, but why aren't we more successful? It's because of fear of failing, right? And that's the thing, fear of failing. That's what's keeping us back. We sat here for a good 2 hours talking about this. We're both kicking ourselves in the butt and sitting saying, why aren't we further along where we should be? And it's all because of the fear of failing. You can't be afraid to fail. Failure is what leads to success. You got to understand it. I'm gonna give you a couple examples of my life. I've been through a divorce. But it taught me how to be a better father to my kids, and it taught me how to be a better husband to my wife now that we're going to be married in May, 20 years and together 23 years. And it was all because of failure, right? I failed in my first marriage, and I was able to become a better husband, a better father because of it. An example, I've been fired twice in my career, twice. and I'm a better man today because of it. I look back on those failures and I see them as success, because I truly believe I would not have the work ethic I have today. I would not be the person I am today in business if it wasn't for those 2 times that I actually lost my job. And when it happens to you, you're like, oh, the world's coming to an end. How am I going to feed my family? What am I going to tell my wife? I got kids to feed. I got bills to pay, and you don't have that job. I went through that, and it was failure, right? But we all fail through life. I mean, I believe I failed as a husband. I believe I failed as a father. I believe I failed in business. I believe I failed in school. I believe I failed in just every aspect of life, but it's made me the person I am today. It made me the man I am today. It made me the business person I am today. And it made me the go-getter I am today, because you have to learn from those failures. When you fail, you learn from them. And I truly believe the only true failures are the people that don't try. If you're not trying, then you're failing. When you fail, it's a success, because you know why? Because you actually got out there and tried to do something. Even though you didn't accomplish it, it's a success because you tried. You may have failed at it, but it is an accomplishment because you weren't sitting on the sideline. You actually got in the damn game and gave it your best. I failed in sports. I've stepped on the field and messed up. I've stepped on the basketball court and messed up. I stepped in the gym and got my ass kicked. But the thing is, I've stepped on the in a ring, and actually a true fight in a ring, and got my ass kicked. But the thing is, it was a success because you know why? I wasn't the person in the audience. I was a person in the ring or in the game and being watched. Those people out there in the sidelines watching, they're dreamers. They wish they could be in there. But you know why they're not? Because they're afraid to fail. I wasn't afraid to step in that ring, even though I knew the kid was half my age, more than half my age, 27 years old. And here I am, was 47 at the time when I fought him. And I wasn't afraid to get in there with him, even though that kid kicked my butt all over the ring. But I saw that as a success, because all those guys on the sideline drinking their beers with their big old fat beer bellies would never step in that ring with me, because they're afraid of getting their butt kicked, because they're afraid of looking stupid and funny in front of their friends. And that's not me, because I'm not afraid to fail, because fail leads to success. I want you to understand that. Failure leads to success. And if you want to be successful, you have to fail fast, fail often, fail forward, and you will fail into success. James, you agree with what I'm saying in this?
I agree 100%. And just to take a little caveat off of what Coach G said, remember, there is no shortage of success. So a lot of times what happens is when we fail, we get stuck in the moment. Failure is a momentary passing. You know, once one thing fails, that moment, okay, take it, learn from it, discard what you don't need, and then go out and get something else. Do not close the door on yourself because of 1 failure, 2 failures, 3 failures. You know, how long does it take to master something? Something like 10,000 hours? 10,000 tries, 10,000 hours. In one of those hours and one of those tries, you're most likely going to fail at least once. So just remember that it's going to pass. Those feelings are going to pass. That one opportunity might go, but it might reappear in the form of something else. And remember that if you're failing, you're living. Now, if you're not failing, that means you're staying inside. You're not putting yourself out there. You're not meeting new people. You're not doing new experiences. You're not developing yourself. You're not finding out more about yourself. So if you're not failing, you're not really living. But if you are failing, you have the constant opportunity of self-development, of new relationships, of better relationships. Sometimes what you think you have now, you fail at it and you end up with something totally different, totally better, more beautiful, more success, more happiness than what you initially thought that you had.
I agree with that 100%. And kind of like was what I was saying before. You got to understand that in order to be anything in life, in order to be the next level, in order to be where you want to go in life, you have to be willing to take a step forward and be willing to fail. You're going to fail, and that's what you got to understand. You're going to fail. But if you sit on the sidelines and don't even try, I truly believe that's the true definition of failure. And James is right. If you're not failing, you're not succeeding. If you're not failing, you're not living. And I truly believe in that 100%, that you have to fail in order to actually live the life that you want to live. People are playing it too soft. They're playing it average, boring lives because they're afraid to step out. They're afraid to step out and give it a shot. Oh, I'll just stay with my comfortable little life. I'll just stay in my average little life. I'm good with that. You know why? Because you're afraid. You're afraid to fail. And it's funny because James and I, like I told you, we've been masterminding for the past couple hours, and as we were telling each other, dude, what's wrong with you, man? What's wrong with you, James? And he's like, Joe, what's wrong with you? Same thing. It's like it's the things that we're trying to work on. I mean, we're very successful in a lot of areas, but the things what we're trying to do to up our game, to be better speakers, to be better businessmen, to actually get those gigs is like the fear is what's holding us back, right? And so we're not. You could say that we're preaching to the choir, but you got to think about it. We're going through the same thing you're going through. We have fears as well, and we have to break the chains of fears. That's why he's called the chain breaker speaker, right? Break the chains of fear. Break the chains of doubt. Break the chains of worry that you can't do it. It doesn't matter if you can do it or you can't do it. You freaking got on the field and you tried. You stepped up and you tried. If you failed, pick your ass up and try again. It doesn't matter. Les Brown said, if life's going to knock you down, if you get knocked down, land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. And that's the key, because you failed, but you get your ass up and you continue moving forward. You continue moving forward. It doesn't matter. The failure is where the growth is. If everything in your life's going smooth, you ain't learning shit. It's where the growth is when you fail, when you get smacked in the face, when you get knocked down, when you get that disappointment, when that person walks out on you, when your kids walk out on you, when you lose that job, when that business fails. That's where the growth is. But most people hang it up and go to bed because they're afraid of what comes next. You can't be afraid. You got to be willing to put it all on the line and fail if you want to be successful. James, you got any last words for these people out there about this very, very important topic? I think it's one of the most important topics out there. First of all, guys, #live, #repeat. Forward it on to your friends and family. Forward it on to somebody that you think really needs to, that you know they're scared, that you know they're afraid to step out. You know they're afraid to take that chance because of failure. Send it to them. They need to hear it. It's very important. And I like to just say hello to a couple of people on here. Hey, Patrick, what's going on, buddy? Good seeing you. Hope things are going well for you out there in Palm Springs. And my beautiful wife is watching as usual. How you doing, honey, over there? See, we're over here. We're hanging out. And then Michael, good seeing you, Michael, on there. And guys, #live, #repeat. Forward it on to somebody you think that needs to hear this. Again, guys, fail fast, fail forward. Okay, it's very important. James, any last words?
Yeah, just one thing. Remember also, failure is in the eye of the beholder. So what was it? Thomas Edison failed 1,000 or 10,000 times before he made the light bulb. And when they asked him about those failures, he said, I didn't fail. I found 1,000, 10,000 ways not to make a light bulb. So there's learning in failure. There's a growth in failure, and there's new possibilities in failure. So take this message, apply it today. Maybe look at a past failure that you thought was a failure, that you thought you closed the door to, and reopen it and see what you can do with it. Again, we're here for you guys. We love to get to know what struggles you're going through. If you're going through some tough times, like dealing with a failure or dealing with a difficulty, reach out to us. You can DM us. You can message us. You can like this video. You can share it. You can comment in it, and we will give you back feedback. We will interact with you because we're here for you guys. We're here to serve. And we hope you have an amazing day. Make it a chain breaker day. Here you go, Gerald.
It almost forgot that this was my principle number 8 in my book, The Genius Within, which is now on Amazon. So you can go to Amazon. It should be I published it yesterday. They said it'd take about 72 hours or so. So wait a couple days and you'll be able to go get my book on Amazon. And again, The Genius Within, 20 principles to find and grow your genius. And that was principle number 8, fail. You need to be able to fail. And I love what James just said, because it is in the eyes of the beholder that you can think you failed and then just go under the bed and under the covers and wallow in your own pity, or you can learn from it, get out there and try again. Because you're right, you can look at all the famous people, all the greats in the world, and every one of them have failed, but they failed forward and they failed their way to success. So I hope that helped you guys out there. Take the nuggets that we have, and again, if you guys any questions on it, you know, reach out, messenger us, let us know. James Nelson, Chainbreaker Speaker. You can also follow him on Instagram. What is it on Instagram?
The Chainbreaker Speaker, Instagram.
Awesome, Chainbreaker Speaker Insta, and mine is Gerald Coach G Eldred on Instagram. So you guys can check that out, and also CoachGmotivates.com. You guys go check it out, and like I said, on Amazon, yeah, baby.
I got my copy.
And James got his copy. So guys, get out there, fail, 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 and then fail your way to success. Coach G and the one and only Chainbreaker Speaker, James Nelson. James, hey, see ya.
See you guys.
Take care, guys.